Train the muscles, not the joints. All right, so I trained legs at the gym. I came home, had something to eat. I also had some sushi as well. I had a tuna roll and some gyoza. And then I came home and I had some brown rice and chicken. I had a little bit of a nap, so I like my naps. And now I'm gonna do a little bit of chest and some arms. So those are the body parts I really feel I need. I did some heavy back yesterday, so I feel like my back might be okay. I don't feel like I need to pump it up today. I might do a little bit of chins. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But first I'm gonna do some bench presses. Back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and this is part 2, and I've been thinking about it. There's going to be a part 3 to pushing your limits, because there's a little bit of an experiment I did over the period of 3 days, and then you're going to see what that experiment revealed, what kind of fruit it produced. Okay, so just so you know, there's going to be a part 3. So this is part 2 of pushing the limits in your bodybuilding workouts, and right now I'm just warming up with 225, and then I'm going to 295 right now, which is a good work weight for me. It's pretty heavy and decently challenging, but at the same time it's not too heavy. All right, 295. See how many reps I can get with this here. Usually I went wider in my bench grip, but I find with closer grip I'm getting a little bit more chest development, right? So I'm doing a little bit of a medium grip now, not so wide. But with wide I usually can get an extra rep or two because there's less travel, less range of motion. So, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm working on building my chest up here, but at the same time not getting too fat either. So yeah, it's always a blend, always a compromise, right? So if you get fat, your bench can go up, but at the same time, I want to build quality muscle. That's my first priority. Quality muscle, quality strength without putting on a lot of body fat. These are some groove sets. So my point is I did that one grinder rep on the set number 2, which was brutal. I shouldn't have done that rep. But now my chest is a little bit worn out, but I'm trying to just use the heavy weight for multiple sets, not going to total failure, but pretty close, but just to get used to handling the weight because I want to bring this bench up. So yeah, you can't do everything, but it's just a fun way to play around with heavier weight. You just, you save 1 rep in the tank, but to make sure that you're getting good stable reps, right? Myself out last set.
Now it's been at least about a month or two since I've done so many heavy sets of bench press. So I thought, hey, it was about time. It just felt like the right time for me to do multiple sets, 6 to 7 sets of 295 I did there. I actually did 5x5, I believe, and then I did a few sets earlier before that, or 1 or 2 anyway. I can't count. Anyway, I'm not going to go back and count. You can count if you want. But anyway, I did a lot of sets of heavy weight. So then I went over to some pull-ups, and because the way the bar is, it forces my arms a little bit wider than I would like, but at the same time, it still works really great. I keep that tension on the lat the whole time, and I will explain this further in just a moment.
Now ideally I'd have a narrower grip, but just because the way the bar is set up kind of forces me in kind of a wider place, and then the other option's a little bit too narrow, so I'd have a little bit more of a narrower grip. So that's why my arms are out like this the whole time. So even when I'm totally straight, my arms look slightly bent, because they are slightly bent, but straightening out more doesn't bring more of my back in, because it's more about bringing the arms like this. So if my arms are this wide, then when I'm like this, straightening the arms isn't actually bringing much more back in. If I had a narrower grip, then basically I'd automatically have a little bit more range of motion on that lat, right? But these work pretty good though. I still get a pretty good pump from them.
Now remember, this is the second part of just one workout in one day, because I did that one heavy leg workout at the gym, complete with a bit of a higher volume, about 6-7 sets for legs, I think 7 to 8 sets actually. And then I had something to eat, had a nap, and then I came home, did bench presses, then pull-ups, and now I'm going to go to some triceps. So right now I'm doing my favorite tricep exercise, which is a skull crusher, and I like doing the different variations of the incline, the flat, and obviously I like to do the overhead as well with 2 dumbbells, because I don't know, I just like it. It's probably because I have short arms too, because once you get into the 100-pound dumbbells, if you have shorter arms, the dumbbell just hits you in the back of the head every time when you're extending. So I find using 2 different dumbbells, or 2 separate ones, allows me to have a better range of motion and a better squeeze, right? So that's why I do that. Now you might be asking yourself, do I ever go heavy on skull crushers or isolation movements? And the answer is yes, but I feel the need to not go heavy because I've already done some pretty heavy bench presses, and like I said, my grip is medium on the bench press, so I am getting quite a bit of tricep work as well as chest work on my bench press technique. So therefore it's okay for me to stick to 20 reps, 30 reps, 40 reps, whatever rep range I want with the triceps, because I don't feel the need to really challenge them with the heavy weight at this point. But a few days earlier, I was doing the 45-pound dumbbells or 50-pound dumbbells for skull crushers just for a set or 2. But the thing is with skull crushers, I find I get the best benefit from staying in the rep ranges around 20 to 40 reps in that area. If I start going into the 5 rep range or 10 rep range on an isolation, I find it's harder on the joints, and I don't necessarily feel like I get more tricep development from it. But I do encourage people to experiment with all the rep ranges and see how your body responds. But for me, I find once in a while going heavy is more than enough. I don't need to go heavy all the time when I do isolations.
the kickbacks, just go super light just to squeeze, right? Just to get a squeezing motion.
With this exercise, you may notice that one side is stronger than the other, and you may have something going on similar to me where I have an injury history where I broke my left elbow when I was a kid, so it kind of moved my elbow in a certain way that basically I could hyperextend my arm, but I couldn't bend it all the way. So this changes the dynamic of how the attachments work in the tricep and everything. So I noticed my left side's a lot harder for me to fire properly with this type of motion. So this is why I always say train within the limitations of your body, or find out how your body moves, because there'll be this complicated history that you have, and most of it probably took place in childhood. And this will change the dynamic of how you train. So what you notice I'm doing here is I'm just squeezing the muscle and just holding it isometrically here and there, just to get that connection to where I'm firing the muscle properly. So I'm really trying to build those motor units, that mind muscle connection in that area, so that way I can really squeeze and get a better pump in the tricep. Oh yeah, and that song playing in the background is called Sasquatch Dreams.
Good. So got some triceps going on there, see? It's good, so a good pump in the triceps. Now I'm going to finish off with just a few sets of bicep curls and then I'll be done.
So I've been playing around with two major motions for my bicep curls right now, or three. One is the standing alternating dumbbell curl. Number two is the one I'm doing right here, which is the incline dumbbell curl. And number three is the dumbbell curl standing, but what I'm doing is I'm squeezing all the way up to the top and then coming down and squeezing all the way up to the top. Even if I bring in some front delt, I'm not too worried, because I'm noticing I'm bringing in a little bit more of a different part of the bicep that I want to bring in. So I'm getting some good pumps from it and I'm feeling pretty good. So try it out if you want. But yeah, I usually stick to 2 or 3 favorite movements and then I rotate them over a period of a month or two, and then sometimes I'll get bored and then I'll move to a different movement if I feel that I need it.
So that concludes my workout. I got a good leg workout in earlier today, and then I split my body up into 2 different sessions. And then tonight I did my chest, back, and arms. And I did a little bit of shoulders yesterday, and I'm gonna do some calf raises later on, just on the stairs or something, some one-legged calf raises. But yeah, that's about it. That's kind of a typical workout that I do almost every day. And sometimes I'll leave out a body part or not or whatever. But thanks a lot for watching. If you want to support this content, go to patreon.com under Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. The link is down below. Or just visit me on my website at naturalgallantbodybuilding.com if you want to buy a program or you need to get a hold of me. All right? So thanks a lot for watching and take care for now.